Are you a real estate investor looking to sharpen your skills or a newbie looking to become one? You're in the right place. Welcome to Where Should I Invest? Real Estate Investing in Canada with your host, Sarah Larby.
I'm very sensitive towards maintaining a low LTV. And if you look at across my portfolio today, I have 50% loan to value in my entire portfolio. So I'm pretty conservative as opposed to many people may think, how did you scale so fast? It was mainly because the properties that I was purchasing were strategically bought and they outperformed the market even by double digit. And the market, as you know, has been performing really well. So if the market's giving you that average 13 to 14% return, the asset class that I bought in the location that I bought, they were close to about 23 to 25% year over year return. They did really, really well. So I think picking the right property is very important to me, and main focus of, is this property undervalued at the stage of acquisition? Can I add enough value in it to increase the force appreciation? And then if I strategically hold them and they outperform the market, in all three stages, you're gaining value and hence you're really doing well in its equity appreciation. You asked me my end goal. I think I want to develop more. I want to build more. And I want to eventually be at a point where I'm ready to completely, I don't enjoy doing real estate anymore. I don't know when that will happen. Then I can have, a really good set of portfolio that's just generating cash and, giving me some really good passive income. But at this point, because I am enjoying the growth, I'm going to continue purchasing properties and developing properties because I've also gained some really good interest in development. So I've built 4 or 5 luxury homes and now I'm scaling that business as well. I'm, getting into more land severances. The next project we're doing is, severing 2 lots into 3. And, I'm learning that business quite a bit, quite well. And it kind of just, I guess, correlates really well with my investment business. So the whole process is you buy, you hold, and then you wait for that property to reach a saturation point. And then instead of selling it, you come and see, okay, is it better to refinance? Is it better to develop? Is it better to flip? And then I take it case by case. So that's kind of gives you the idea about what my everyday looks like.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's interesting because a lot of people think, are people that are not cash flowing so well, are they overly leveraged? But you're saying you've got, a 50% loan to value. I'm guessing that's just from being in the market for a certain amount of years,
Yes.
And having that mortgage pay down over time and the appreciation. And then you start seeing the $600,000 houses that you bought are probably worth 1.2, in a few years. Obviously we've had some good appreciation. How are you? I mean, these are not cheap properties, right? And you've got 17 that you mentioned, and it's cool that you're doing the development stuff as well. I'm starting to dabble in that, but how are you financing these properties, being that they're $600,000, $700,000, $800,000? Is it JVs? Are you doing some strategic financing from potentially an umbrella corporation or something along those lines? Maybe share some secrets there.
Sure. So I'm also a real estate agent. So in the last 6 years, thankfully, I'm focusing specifically working with investor clients, right? So 90% of the people that work with me are people who are also buying real estate for the purpose of investment. So thankfully, in the last 6 years, as an agent, I've done really well, and my income has I'm a diamond agent, so I'm doing really well. My incremental has done really well, but there's no way I would have done this without joint venturing. So from the get-go, if you look at my 17 properties, out of which 9 of them are under joint ventures, and 8 of them I now own outright, because that has taken me a while to be able to be in a position to buy properties 100% myself. So a lot of the scaling was with joint ventureship. Also, the properties that I buy strategically for the purpose of developing them, I usually find it a lot better to, hedge your risk by partnering with someone. If I'm buying a single family home, I never buy it less than 50% skin in the game. So I will always find a strategic partner, like a doctor or a lawyer, somebody who's a little bit more, wants a more passive role in purchasing an investment property and is very, very good with financing. So we'll open a corp, he will guarantee the corp. I always buy with a lender. I have never touched private financing in my life. So for me, I'm very comfortable going to and pitching the idea of a really good investment property to a guy like a doctor, lawyer, my partner who's, with somebody with stable income, very easy for financing. And as long as the goals are aligned and as long as I explain to them the 5-year plan, hey, we're going to buy this in 5 years, for 5 years, we're going to rent, it's going to support itself. and we only each come up with 10%. So we buy it always with that 80% LTV. And as the equity grows, and we're in a better position to do what we want. So absolutely joint ventureships. In the last 3 years, with the increase in wealth and a massive increase in my income, I've been able to transition into private banking with BMO and TD. And I think once you're at a very good position and private banking, I don't know if you have experience with them, but these guys really get into it, right? They want to see what your net worth is. They want to understand everything about you. And last 3 mortgages I've been able to get without any issues, A-lender deals like variable rates with BMO and TD without an issue. And I bought them myself. I didn't need to JV. And I have the power of refinancing and taking a line of credit if I need to.
All right, 2 really important things. Let's actually cover, I don't think we've done too much on that private banking, because I think it is a really cool thing that most people will not talk about or tell you about, unless you get to that next level.
Exactly.
And then oh wow, there's this whole other banking thing. So let's talk about that. But I also want, before we do talk about private banking, how, like somebody's listening to this and they're saying, okay, well, doctors and dentists and all of those high net worth individuals are awesome. How do I find them? Where did you find yours? And maybe just provide some insights to the listeners.
Sure. It absolutely takes a little time to build credibility. Like I've always been an extreme support of, I've always supported the idea that if you have an amazing, well-detailed idea and plan, whether it's real estate, whether it's a startup, if you've got a really good idea and you have to go out there and pitch, right? You have to hustle. We've all been through the stages where, and when I say I partnered with one doctor, it's also been that I've been in a stage where 8 of them have rejected me and the 9th person decided to invest with me, right? Keep your deals clean in the sense that give them 50% ownership. I feel like a lot of people who feel like, hey, I'm the active partner, so I need to get more share. And I clean cut it right down the middle. I say, look, like, even though I'm doing all the work, I'm coming in, I'm managing the property, I'm sourcing the deals, I am, and when they see a good track record, which you have built over time, people like that get very comfortable working with you. Obviously there's, I share my business plan with them to the detail, and it's, luckily I'm at a point now that as I have grown my portfolio, as I have enough credibility and success in the last 6-7 years to show, it becomes a lot easier. Right. So where I can
get a lot of referrals as well, right? I mean, and you probably just have to find that first one. And then the first one tells their friend doctors, just like investors, we find it like something really cool. We tell each other, a great contractor, we share, as much as possible. So I'm sure they're going to do the same thing. But, I'm thinking like, for example, could somebody go to galas or different different things to immerse themselves and to network with those types of people? Like, do you have any insights on how to find them? Like if somebody is really starting from scratch, where are they finding these people with the ability to be passive? Because you don't want somebody to be in your deal if you're the active partner, to the extent that they're picking the flooring and they're picking all the colors. You want them to be passive, you want them to be busy, but you want their financing and you want their money without having to, answer to every single little tiny detail throughout the project.
People really underestimate the appetite for real estate in the city, especially with the last 10 years, how, real estate has really been a very hot topic in Toronto. I think there's a lot of appetite, and there are a lot of people that want to get into real estate, but they don't want to do the work, and they want a very hands-off role. So networking events, even the networking events that, for example, that you guys hold, I have a guy who's now partnered with me, is working in my office. And when I told him about coming on the podcast with you, he's like, of course, I've been to one of her events and I met a lot of good people. And, he told me a whole thing about it, and he was very excited that I'm actually on the podcast with you. So events such as that, where you go and meet like-minded people, and you reach out to Facebook groups. Like, for example, my ads sometimes will go in a Facebook group, which is targeting into like doctor groups. And like you said, once you know a doctor, reach out to people in your family, physiotherapists, chiropractors. These people have a lot of income, a lot of stable income, and you'll be surprised they have actually no idea what to do with it. There is a lot of money in Toronto, especially with professionals who have the appetite. And that's why I think you see so much money go into pre-construction. And I don't know if you've listened to some of my previous videos. I'm not a big fan of pre-construction. I don't have a single money in pre-construction because I think it's a very lazy way to invest in real estate, right? I'm sure there's people who are doing well in pre-construction, but I think it's very speculative. So and I think if you have a good idea that you can pitch to these people and explain them that there's so much more value add in resale, in properties like you buy that need the work, need the forced appreciation. It's just a matter of making it simple, having it down to the detail of being cross-questioned, and hustle and keep taking meetings, keep reaching out to people, because with such a hot topic, you're bound to hit people that will at least sit down with you and listen to you for 10, 15 minutes.
Thanks so much for listening to Where Should I Invest with your host, Sarah Larby. Make sure to listen in next time. We'll catch you on the next episode of Where Should I Invest?